The US dollar is red hot right now as inflation numbers came out higher than expected this morning. And in this video, I'm going to tell you all the information you need to know as a Forex trader and some ideas that I'm looking at going into this week on a couple select currency pairs as well as gold. We'll take a look at euro dollar, look at pound dollar, and gold. Feel free to skip ahead if there's one that you would like to take a look at. Let's jump in. So welcome back everybody to the channel. My name is Nick. If you're new here, I do all sorts of currency trading stuff, and I would invite you to subscribe to the channel if you want more trade ideas and coverage of what's going on in the future. So here's basically what happened. A quick look at it this morning. You can see we had the numbers come out at a much higher than expected rating. So what we had here was we had an expectation for inflation to continue to curb going into today's trading. Now, of course, what that means is that we're expecting a minus 0.1%, meaning they're expecting inflation to continue to sort of come down year over year. Instead, what we got is actually in the month of August, we had an increase in inflation. So higher than expected inflation numbers came out, which caused a massive market. You can actually see all the different things across the top of the screen here. All these markets started moving like crazy. Here's what you need to know. Higher than expected inflation is a huge red flag for the stock market. It's a major bullish factor for the US dollar, and I'll explain why. If we jump over to the charts and we take a look at, for example, Euro USD, we had a major sell-off. And here is the reason. The Fed is our main conversational point here because all eyes turn to the Fed when it comes to monetary policy, interest rate decisions, how they're going to combat inflation, etc. And here's what we got basically from today's outcome. With CPI coming out higher than expected, the Fed is expected to remain incredibly hawkish, meaning raising interest rates, which comes with a lot of pain for the stock market and a lot of bullishness for the dollar. You might be interested to hear why inflation being high is actually positive for the dollar. The reason is, again, if the Fed raises interest rates, it makes the dollar more attractive as a safe haven currency globally as markets could fear recession. And on top of that, when you have inflation very high, it's expected that, again, we'll talk about that, interest rates going up makes the dollar attractive to foreign investment. So again, dollar very strong here today. And if we take a quick look around the room, you've got pound dollar selling off, you've got Aussie dollar, NZD USD, USD JPY jumping big time as the dollar strengthens, USD CHF also jumping to the upside after a steep decline recently. So back to one pair that I'm very interested in myself is looking to short Euro USD. Now, I currently am already in a short position. I sold this thing off of a retest of structure looking left. So this area here, I shared that inside of our private Discord channel. And let me pull that up so you just know I'm not making that up. I really did actually take a trade. Let me see if I can find it here. And I just did a little bit of an explanation here this morning to members. But basically here was a sell trade that I took. You can see there's that 61.8% retracement getting tagged recently, which also was a nice indicator for me to go ahead and jump in short off the daily chart, longer term downtrend. I'm looking for this thing to continue to roll over. So I share all of my trade alerts inside of the Discord channel. If you would like to join, by the way, the link will be down below in the description to sign up. It'll be the first link in the description. And if you use the promo code YTVIP at checkout, you'll get a discount on the trade alerts and VIP chat rooms. So check that out down below. Today I want to talk about TraderFi by Trader2B. This game is free to play and it is so much fun for aspiring traders who want to better their skills. This is a free way without putting any real money on the line to test your skills and to practice in the financial markets. I haven't seen any other games like this in the financial markets, and the cool thing about this is it allows you to trade from a 3-minute replay function all the way up to 60 minutes of playtime where you can test your skills against a live moving market and see how you do. Each time you load up a new game, you get a brand new chart that you've never seen before, and you can test your skills based on price action that's being shown in front of you. Cool thing is you can play this game both on your mobile device or on a desktop. The ultimate goal will be to reach your account to $1 million total. Players who are able to get to that point will be able to get a free 1-month Toro Challenge account, which will give them the opportunity to become a live funded stock trader. So what are you waiting for? Go jump into the game and have fun. So anyways, looking at Euro USD, again, I sold this thing off of a retest of the 61.8% retracement, which brings us right around this area. We saw that sell off. I was entered into a short position right around here. And then of course, today's news really shot my trade into profit, which is nice. Now, of course, the question is, will that persist? And now I think that's where we sort of need to tune in a little bit to recent price action. So again, we had this off of the 1 hour chart. We had a nice upward trend here on the euro dollar. You can see up, higher lows, higher highs as a counter trend to the dominant daily chart downtrend. So we saw that counter trend come into play. We came into this area and we actually double topped beautifully with a massive sell-off coming in here this morning in reaction to the news. And the question becomes now, are we going to actually hold support and rally, or are we going to break out lower? And in my opinion, I think the euro dollar has room to fall further. And if we can close underneath levels like this, there may be trade setups like this. And for those of you guys who are thinking that we may get a short-term rally, I also kind of like a sell here, which I believe lines up with a 61.8% retracement. Let's see if that's correct. Yes, 61.8%. So we can zoom in here just a little bit on price and talk about this. I think that a very reasonable idea would be to see euro dollar retest the lows, especially with this news bringing back a lot of dollar bullishness. I think that it's potentially likely that we could see the euro dollar return back down to these lows, which could be a nice little retest sell idea. Something like the 61.8% makes sense. So trade idea number one would be, of course, a retest here with stops probably above the highs, with targets down somewhere in this area. Of course, that's a 3-to-1 risk to reward, basically just looking to retest sell, right? Very straightforward entry, double top, breakout to the downside off of good catalyst, the news, and a retest at the 61.8. I like that trade. I personally would take that trade all day long. Now, of course, I'm already in a sell trade, so I'm not looking to add that position already. I do already have that euro dollar short. Now, the second thing I'll say about the euro dollars, let's say that we just get a clean break for the remainder of the New York session here. And by the time you see this video, that could be the case. We'll just have to see. Let's say we get a break and retest of this area, right? Maybe there's an opportunity. I can't, predict how everything will look in the future per se, but let's just say we get a clean break underneath these lows, and then we have that potential retest sell to bring us possibly back down to parity and beyond, down into that target at the previous low. I think there's plenty of room to the downside of the euro dollar. This is just my personal opinion. Please do not take trades just because you see somebody talking about them on YouTube. I can and am very often be wrong when it comes to my trades. I'm not here to say I have a perfect, every trade I take is a winner, because that would be very, very much cap.
That's the cap.
Anyways. Next up on the list is pound USD, which the pound looks very bearish, you guys. This is pretty incredible. If you take a look at the edge finder too, by the way, the euro dollar gets a sell in almost every category. Feel free, if you're familiar with the edge finder, to pause the video and take a look around. But a quick overview, we have seasonality here, very negative. The month of September, October, and November expected to be bearish for euro USD. If we take a look at the commitment of traders data, we have the USD very, very heavily bought by institutional traders, and we have mixed retail sentiment. If we take a look at the stats on the economic side of things, GDP growth favors the euro, but inflation, interest rates, and unemployment all favor the USD. So all those things combined, we like the euro dollar short, at least in my opinion. And then equally a very strong sell reading on the pound against the US dollar as well, where we see basically a -5. The commitment of traders data actually coming in very strong from institutional traders who are long the dollar, short the pound. Retail sentiment remains pretty neutral. But then if we take a look at seasonality, also negative for the month of September and October as expected. And then if we take a look at GDP growth, that of course favors the pound, but most other categories favor the USD. So back to the charts. Again, there's our market data. If you guys would like access to the Edge Finder, feel free to pick it up. The link will be also down below in the description. And same thing as the VIP membership. You can get a subscriber discount by applying the code YTVIP at checkout. So this one is looking like it wants to retest the lows here as we speak. But what we see here is the pound USD also looking potentially attractive at that 61.8% retracement. Should it occur, that would be a pretty steep retracement, but definitely still in the realm of possibility, as the pound USD could get some volatility to the upside. Overall, I do like this one short, and the idea here, same as euro dollar, I'm expecting probably a retest of the lows in the coming days or week or so. We'll see if that is correct. We'll see if I'm right about that idea. But I think we definitely have that potential with how much bullishness came into the dollar here today off of that change in sentiment. Now, finally, I want to talk about one more specific asset many traders are going to have questions about: gold. Gold looks unattractive here. In my personal opinion, I think that gold is weak off of this for good reason, right? Higher levels of inflation are going to tell us that the Fed is likely to continue to press the gas on raising interest rates and cutting their budget and all the things that the Fed does to sort of bring down inflation, which ultimately means a lot of bullishness for USD and a lot of potential bearishness for the dollar, for gold, right? As these two things oftentimes are like cousins competing with one another. So you have this downtrend, right? And big thing here is that from a higher time frame perspective, let's see if we can break the lows. That could be potentially a break and retest if we can actually get below that 1700 mark on a decisive basis. That's one idea. And if you're anticipating that breakout, then perhaps you're looking at something like the 1 hour chart where you're looking to try and sell a retest. An idea could be these structural levels that we have looking left. So if we mark these up, get our fibs on there as well. Pretty straightforward. 50% retracement looks potentially attractive there for sells, right? So something like this, and then continuation plays looks reasonable on gold as well. In the short term, gold looks bearish. Longer term, I think you're starting to get some decent value buying gold if we do anticipate at some point the Federal Reserve to change to a bit more of a dovish tone, but right now that does not seem to be the case. We are sitting at a long-term level of support. So what I would say is just be cautious around these areas down here, 1680. If that level breaks, probably a good flush to the downside is my opinion, but we'll see if that can take place. That would again be reliant on some good strength from the dollar persisting for the coming days and weeks. So there you go, a couple different trade setups for you. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the thumbs up button down below, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, smash the thumbs up button, all that good stuff, and we'll see you back next time. Looks like it's time for your next trading video. Check out the videos here and here for more free trading content that should help you in your trading journey. We try and keep it real here, so make sure to subscribe for more content that is down to earth, realistic Forex trading content. See you in the next video.